So in theaters, Sabotage stars Arnold Schwarzenegger as a DEA agent. He and his fellow agents find themselves on the run after being targeted by a drug cartel. It's rated R. And Adam got the chance to talk with one of the film's other stars, Joe
Manganiello.
Thank you. About his thoughts on the film. Here's that interview.
We'll talk the movie Sabotage. What do you think?
What do I think? I think it's awesome. I think it came out great. And as a fan of action movies and Arnold Schwarzenegger and David Ayer and the rest of my amazing cast, all of that adds up to this, really, really kick-ass movie that I think people are really hungry for. I think audiences have been waiting for a really, gritty, hard R movie with, a bunch of really badass actors. It kind of reminds me of Predator, and that you have all these, really, tough ensemble cast being picked off one by one. I think the movie's also a return to Arnold's form at the beginning of his career, when he was in these really dark movies like Conan the Barbarian, Terminator, where he played the villain in this independent action movie, this killing machine. So I think that's what really, that's when people really fell in love with Arnold as an actor and fell in love with his movies. And so this is a real return to that form to me. That's what it seems like to me. So, so that's what I think, man. I think people are going to love it.
Joe, it's funny you should say that. That's what I was thinking when I was watching the trailer. I saw Arnold, I think, in a forest, and he was saying something like, "They're watching us." And I thought, oh, that's Predator. And then the violence. That's one thing that I've heard in several reviews, that it's a very violent film.
It's a very violent film. It's a very violent world that this takes place in. David Ayer didn't make up the war on drugs. He's just commenting on it and portraying it as accurately as he possibly can. So there are unbelievable atrocities that are going on right now a few miles away from where I'm sitting, where you're sitting. So our job was to try to do justice to the people who are fighting that war on drugs and make it as authentic as we possibly can.
A lot of people who watch True Blood will recognize you. You're the werewolf there. In this movie, are you also a monster, or are you one of the good guys?
Well, this movie is all about shades of gray. It's not black, it's not white. There are really the tactics that our guys, the good guys, have to use to fight the bad guys, sometimes blur the line. And certainly when you're talking about undercover work, undercover cops, undercover narcotics agents, they look like the guys they're chasing after. So they look like thugs, they look like gang members because, they spend most of their time doing that or being a part of that world. So it's something that's really hard to put down. So that's basically, who my character is and who he resembles. So yeah, he's a good guy with a lot of dirt on him.
Of course, I'm sure a lot of DEA agents would love to look like you. You are fit, as I mentioned before. You wrote a book called Evolution, and you kind of tell people what it takes to get in shape, and you really don't beat around the bush. You say it takes a lot of work.
Yeah, it does. People think that they sit on their couch with their bag of potato chips and look at the celebrities on TV and go, oh, well, he has genetics, or he had it easy, or he did this, or he did. He worked really hard. He didn't take any shortcuts. He didn't cheat. So, I wanted to set the record straight because I had something to say. I figured it out. I figured out how to do it naturally, and I figured out how to do it in a healthy way. It took me a while. I had to work really hard at it, but because of this book, people won't have to fumble around in the dark looking for the light switch the way that I did. I'll just show them where the light switch is. So hopefully those people won't have to go through a lot of the struggles and obstacles and hardships that I had to go through. But with that said, those struggles and hardships then make for an interesting story and an interesting book about overcoming the odds to achieve a goal.
All right. Joe Manganiello, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.